Your mortgage might be the single biggest expense of your entire life, and most people never question it. In this video, I'm going to break down how a mortgage really works and why it's important to crush it as soon as possible. Hey guys, my name's Mitch, and if you're new here, I'm an everyday Australian closing in on 40 years old. Over the past couple of decades, I've spent a lot of time around finance, money, and trying to build my own personal wealth. I'm not here as a guru, and I'm definitely not someone who's done everything perfectly. I've made plenty of mistakes along the way, some small and some expensive, but I've learned a lot from those mistakes. This channel is really about sharing those lessons honestly. So if you're someone who wants to make smarter financial decisions, avoid some common traps, and gradually build a better financial future for yourself or your family, then this video and my others may be of help to you. Now, point number one is just how a mortgage actually works. Most people take out a mortgage, they lock in a rate for a period of time, and then they just continue to pay the minimum as life continues to move forward. To understand why this can be so costly, let's look at the first 10 years of the average Australian mortgage, which is approximately $700,000. Now, here's the numbers for that mortgage at an interest rate of 5.5% per annum over a 30-year mortgage. Now, the monthly repayment on this is approximately $4,000, or just shy of $3,974 per month. Now, in the first 10 years, the total amount of interest you're going to pay is $354,730. The principal paid off $122,313. So what that actually means is the remaining loan balance after 10 years will be approximately $577,000, down from $700. And the key part of this is that in the first 10 years, you're going to pay $476,000 total, of which 74% is interest alone. Now, the bigger picture of a 30-year mortgage is that the total interest over that 30-year mortgage will be approximately $730,000. So paying twice as much on your mortgage. Now, the interest paid in just the first 10 years alone will be $354,000. And this means that in just those first 10 years, you're paying approximately half of the total interest for your 30-year mortgage. Now, let that sink in. The way that we can flip this is that if you really work hard to reduce the balance as early as you can, utilize things such as your offset accounts wherever possible, and look at increasing the minimum repayment if you're able to do, and you can really turn that whole equation in your favor. Point number two is the comparison with investing. The biggest conflict that a lot of people will have when it comes to considering paying off their mortgage is that they're then delaying other investments. These investments could be things such as ETFs, a share portfolio, cryptocurrency, or even an additional investment property. The perception of all of these things is that the return on them are far greater than that of paying down your mortgage. Now, to help compare how valid this point is, let's take a look at a standard ETF investment in the very popular fund VDHG, offered by Vanguard. Now, VDHG is an ETF which is comprised of different shares, both from the Australian stock market and also international markets. It's also considered a risk level of high to very high, according to the Vanguard website. And I think for our purposes, this is an important point to know. Over the previous 5-year period, this particular fund has returned on average 10.55%. This is a significant amount, and compounding these sorts of returns over time will lead to an impressive growth, no doubt. However, although the previous 3 years have been big positive returns, it's not always the case. And 2022 was a loss of 10%. Now, let's contrast that with an extra repayment into your mortgage, which is actually always a guaranteed return. Of course, this is a simple scenario, and without a doubt, some great investment opportunities are out there. However, point number three, which is something that can't be measured in numbers and percentages, is the real reason that I'm trying to pay down our family mortgage as soon as possible. Point number 3, the intangible benefits. The benefits that can't be seen on spreadsheets or portfolio reports are the upsides which are going to be felt internally by you and your family. These are the things that people may not consider. If you're just looking at the numbers, obviously one's going to be better than the other. But when you factor in these intangible things, we may have a different story. These are the feelings that yourself and your family are going to have day in, day out. Things that will change, and your emotions, stress, things that really impact on the rest of your day-to-day living. Think to yourself how free you would feel when, instead of handing over the majority of your family's income or your family's paychecks for the month over to the bank, you get to keep that $4,000, or you get to invest that in something else. The benefits of having this mortgage paid down, or this mortgage entirely gone, the benefits of this extend far beyond just monetary. They extend into things like your career, your future investments, and when you're no longer a slave to your mortgage, your decision making and your confidence in making those decisions changes drastically. I've always liked to say that we want to be able to make decisions from a position of power, knowing that spending your money will not leave you short in other areas, and getting rid of your largest liability, your mortgage, and largest expense is the best way to achieve this. Now, I know that that can feel like a lifetime away for those who are just either currently living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe you've just got yourself into the housing market and purchased your first home with your first mortgage. However, even just small movements towards paying down your mortgage will start to make a big difference, not only in the monetary side, but also you'll get to see those results coming, and that'll help to compound your efforts to pay down your mortgage. Now, all of this isn't to say that choosing to pay off your mortgage is the right decision for everyone. It's just the approach that I'm taking with my finances going into 2026 and beyond. And guys, if you've made it this far, I hope this has helped with some considerations for your own circumstances. And make sure to follow along for my future videos, where I'll continue to share my lessons and learnings along with my future goals for my personal finance and wealth building.